The bathroom tiles felt cold against 8-year-old Brianna's bare feet as she pressed herself into the corner behind the toilet. Her small hands trembled as she clutched her mother's old phone, the cracked screen reflecting the dim light seeping under the door. Outside, she could hear the terrible sounds that had become too familiar over the past 6 months. Her mother's pleading voice, heavy footsteps, things breaking. "Please, Randy, just stop." Her mama's voice cracked with pain. "Brianna might hear." "I don't care what that brat hears." Randy's voice boomed through the thin walls of their small apartment. The sound of something hitting the wall made Brianna flinch. Her mama cried out. Brianna's fingers shook so badly she could barely hold the phone. She had to do something. Mama always told her to call Aunt Gloria if there was ever an emergency, but Aunt Gloria's number was written on a piece of paper stuck to the fridge with a magnet, and there was no way to get to the kitchen without Randy seeing her. She tried to remember the numbers, but fear made her mind go blank. She opened her text messages and found the last conversation with someone she thought was Aunt Gloria. The number looked right. It had to be right. Tears blurred her vision as she typed with shaking fingers. "Auntie Glo, please help, he's beating my mama real bad, please come quick." She pressed send and waited, hugging her knees to her chest. The sounds outside grew worse. Something glass shattered. Her mama screamed. Brianna squeezed her eyes shut and typed again. "He won't stop, auntie, please, I'm scared." Then another message. "We're at Oakdale Apartments, building C number 7, please hurry." Her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen, hope flooding through her small body. But the response made her heart skip a beat. "This isn't your aunt. But I'm reading your messages. Are you safe right now? Where are you in the apartment?" Brianna's hands went cold. Wrong number. She'd sent the messages to a wrong number. Fresh tears rolled down her cheeks. She'd made everything worse. But then the phone buzzed again. "Brianna, I need you to answer me. My name is Devin. I'm going to help you and your mama. Are you hidden somewhere safe?" Something about the way the stranger wrote made Brianna feel a tiny bit less scared. She typed back. "I'm in the bathroom, he's in the living room with mama." The response came immediately. "Good. Stay exactly where you are. Lock the door if you can. I'm tracking your location right now. I'm calling the police and I'm coming myself. You did the right thing texting for help. You're very brave. I'll be there in less than 15 minutes. Stay quiet and stay hidden." Brianna locked the bathroom door as quietly as she could. She kept her eyes on the phone screen, watching as another message appeared. "Police are 8 minutes away. I'm 12 minutes away. Can you still hear what's happening?" She typed back, fingers still trembling but steadier now. "Yes, he's still yelling, mama is crying. Help is coming very soon. You're doing great. Keep the door locked. Don't come out until you hear police identify themselves. Do you understand?" "Yes. I'm on my way, Brianna. Your mama is going to be okay." Brianna clutched the phone to her chest and prayed harder than she'd ever prayed in her whole life. She didn't know who Devin was or why a stranger would help them, but right now he was the only hope they had. Outside the bathroom door, she heard Randy's voice getting louder. "Where's that kid? Brianna? Get out here right now." Brianna held her breath, making herself as small as possible. Her phone buzzed. "Don't make a sound. Police are 5 minutes away. I'm 9 minutes away. You're safe in there." The door handle rattled. "Brianna, open this door right now." Her mama's voice cut through, desperate and raw. "Randy, leave her alone. She didn't do anything. This is between us." "Everything in this house is my business," Randy snarled. "I pay the bills here." "You don't pay anything," her mama shot back, and Brianna heard the sound of a slap. Tears streamed down Brianna's face, but she stayed silent like Devin told her to. The phone buzzed again. "Police are 2 minutes away. I can hear sirens on my end. They're almost there. You're so brave, Brianna. Just a little longer." The next minute felt like an hour. Randy kept pounding on the bathroom door, her mama kept trying to pull him away, and Brianna kept her eyes fixed on the phone screen, counting seconds. Then she heard it. Sirens. Real sirens, getting closer and closer. "That's the police." Randy's voice changed, panic creeping in. "Did you call the cops?" "Did you?" "I didn't touch my phone," her mama said. "It's in the bathroom." Heavy footsteps ran toward the apartment door. Brianna heard it slam open. More footsteps. Shouts. Then different voices, authoritative and calm. "Police. Everyone stay where you are." "Ma'am, are you injured? We need you to step away from him." "There's a child here?" "Where's the child?" Her mama's voice, shaking but stronger now. "Brianna, baby, it's okay. You can come out now. The police are here." Brianna's phone buzzed one more time. "The police are there. You can come out now." You're safe. I'm still 6 minutes away, but I'm coming. You saved your mama tonight, Brianna. You're a hero. With trembling hands, Brianna unlocked the bathroom door and opened it slowly. A female police officer knelt down immediately, her face kind and gentle. Hey there, sweetheart. Are you Brianna? You're safe now. We're here to help. Brianna ran past the officer straight to her mama, who was sitting on the couch with another officer checking her injuries. Her face was swollen, her lip bleeding, but she opened her arms and Brianna crashed into them. Mama, Brianna sobbed. I'm sorry. I texted the wrong number. I thought it was Aunt Gloria, but it wasn't. Her mama held her tight, stroking her hair. Baby, you did perfect. You got help. That's all that matters. But it was a wrong number, Brianna insisted. Some man named Devin. He said he's coming here. The police officers exchanged glances. One of them spoke into his radio. Dispatch, can you confirm who called this in? A crackling voice responded. Call came from a Devin Mitchell. He reported domestic violence at this address and said he was on his way. He's the one who gave us the details. Devin Mitchell? The officer's eyebrows shot up. The Devin Mitchell? The tech guy. The female officer who'd found Brianna smiled. Sounds like you accidentally texted a very good person, honey. Brianna looked at her phone. Another message had appeared. I'm 3 minutes away. Is your mama okay? Are the police taking care of you both? She showed her mama the phone. Her mama read the messages, tears filling her eyes as she understood what had happened. How this stranger had responded to her daughter's desperate plea and mobilized help so quickly. Tell him thank you, her mama whispered. Tell him we're okay. Brianna typed carefully. Thank you, Mr. Devin. Mama is hurt, but the police are here and she's getting help. You're a nice man. 2 minutes later, a black car pulled up outside their apartment building. Through the window, Brianna watched a tall man in a blue suit step out. He moved quickly but calmly toward their building. The police officers at the door straightened up when they recognized him. Devin Mitchell walked into their small apartment, and Brianna saw immediately that he had kind eyes. He looked at the police officers first. Is everyone safe? Is the child okay? Everyone's secure, Mr. Mitchell. The perpetrator is in custody. The mother and child are shaken but safe. Devin's shoulders relaxed slightly. Then his eyes found Brianna, still clutching her mama's waist. He walked over slowly, keeping his movements gentle and non-threatening. He crouched down to Brianna's level. You must be Brianna. I'm Devin. You're one of the bravest people I've ever met. Brianna managed a small smile through her tears. You came. You really came. Of course I came. You asked for help and that took real courage. He looked up at her mama. Ma'am, my name is Devin Mitchell. I'm so sorry you went through this. How badly are you hurt? Have you ever wondered what you would do if a stranger's cry for help reached you by mistake? Would you ignore it or would you act? If this story touches your heart, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more stories of hope and courage to light. Tasha Williams looked at the stranger who'd somehow received her daughter's desperate text and come running. His face showed genuine concern, not pity. She touched her swollen face gingerly. I'll be okay. I've had worse. The admission made her feel ashamed, but something about his steady gaze made her want to be honest. You shouldn't have had to survive worse, Devin said simply. The paramedics are on their way. I called them before I left my office. They'll check you over properly. I can't afford. Tasha began, but Devin held up a hand gently. Please don't worry about money right now. Let's just make sure you're okay. Everything else we can figure out. A police officer approached. Ms. Williams, we need to get your statement about what happened tonight. And we need to discuss your safety going forward. The perpetrator is being taken into custody, but there will be court proceedings. Tasha felt overwhelmed. Statements, court, safety plans, where would they even sleep tonight if Randy made bail? Their apartment felt contaminated now, unsafe. She swayed slightly and Devin steadied her arm. Officer, could she give her statement after she's been checked by paramedics? Devin asked. She's clearly in pain and shock. Of course. We can do that at the hospital if needed. The paramedics arrived and began examining Tasha while Brianna stayed close, refusing to let go of her mother's hand. Devin spoke quietly with the police officers, and Brianna heard snatches of the conversation. Restraining order. Safe housing. Legal resources. One of the paramedics, a woman with gentle hands, cleaned the cut on Tasha's lip. You should really come to the hospital for x-rays. Your ribs might be bruised or cracked. I don't have insurance right now, Tasha said quietly. I lost my job 2 months ago. Ma'am, Devin interjected softly, I'd like to cover your medical expenses. Please don't refuse. You need proper care. Tasha looked at this stranger who dropped everything to help them. Every instinct told her to refuse to handle it herself, but Brianna's small hand in hers reminded her that this wasn't just about her pride anymore. Her daughter needed her healthy. Why would you do that? She asked. You don't even know us. Devin's expression was serious but kind. Your daughter reached out for help. She trusted that someone would come. I don't want her to learn that asking for help leads to nothing. I want her to know that there are people who will show up. Something in Tasha's chest cracked open. She nodded slowly. Okay. Thank you. I don't know how I'll ever pay you back, but thank you. You don't need to pay me back. Let's just focus on getting you and Brianna somewhere safe tonight. At the hospital, the x-rays showed 2 cracked ribs, significant bruising, and a mild concussion. The doctor wanted to keep Tasha overnight for observation. Panic flashed across her face. Brianna. She can't stay here. She needs to be somewhere safe to sleep. I can stay with Mama, Brianna said quickly, fear in her voice. She hadn't left her mother's side since the police arrived. Devin, who'd stayed through the entire examination, spoke up. What if I arrange for a hotel suite? It's a family suite with 2 bedrooms. Brianna can sleep there and I'll make sure she has everything she needs. I'll stay in the lobby or in a separate room so she's not alone. In the morning you can both be together. Tasha wanted to argue, but exhaustion and pain made it hard to think clearly. I don't want her out of my sight. I understand. But the doctor says you need rest and monitoring. Brianna needs sleep too, real sleep in a safe place. I promise you I will make sure she's safe. You have my word. The doctor added gently, Ms. Williams, you need to recover so you can take care of your daughter. One night apart in safe conditions is better than having her sleep in a hospital chair while you're being monitored. Brianna squeezed her mama's hand. Mr. Devin kept me safe before. He came when I texted him. I trust him, Mama. Those words broke through Tasha's resistance. Her baby girl had learned not to trust men after watching Randy's behavior, but something about Devin felt different to her. Tasha had to trust that instinct. Okay, she whispered. But Brianna, you call me if you need anything at all. And Mr. Mitchell. Devin, please? Devin. Thank you. I don't understand why you're doing all this, but thank you. 2 hours later, Brianna was settled into a beautiful hotel suite in one of the nicest buildings in the city. She'd never seen anything like it. The bed was enormous and soft, the bathroom had fluffy white towels, and there was a basket of snacks on the counter. Devin had ordered room service, proper food that made Brianna's eyes go wide. You can eat whatever you want, Devin said gently. And there are kids' movies on the TV. I'm going to be right next door in the connecting room. See this door? I'll keep it unlocked on my side. If you need anything at all, you just knock or call out. I'll hear you. Brianna nodded, suddenly feeling shy. This man had saved them, but she barely knew him. Mr. Devin? She said softly. Yes. Why did you help us? When you got my text, you could have just ignored it. Devin sat down in the chair near the bed, keeping a respectful distance. Brianna, when I was a boy, a bit older than you, I watched my mother go through something similar. We had money, but that doesn't protect you from everything. Someone helped us when we needed it most, and I promised myself that if I ever had the chance to help someone else the same way, I would. When I got your text tonight, I knew I had to come. Did your mama get better? Brianna asked, her voice small. She did. It took time, but she got better. She's strong just like your mama is strong. And you know what? You're strong too. What you did tonight, reaching out for help even though you were scared, that was incredibly brave. Brianna's eyes filled with tears. I was so scared I texted the wrong number. But you didn't stop trying. You gave me your address. You stayed hidden when I told you to. You kept your mama safe until help could arrive. You did everything right. Is Mama really going to be okay? She's going to heal. The doctors are taking good care of her. And tomorrow you'll see her first thing in the morning. I'll take you to the hospital myself. Brianna wiped her eyes. Can I really watch a movie? Absolutely. Let me show you how the remote works. Devin set up a cheerful animated movie, made sure Brianna had water and snacks within reach, and showed her how to call him on the hotel phone if she needed anything. I'm going to leave this door open a crack, he said, indicating the connecting door. You're safe here, Brianna. The hotel has security and I'm right next door. Nobody can hurt you or your mama anymore. As the opening credits played, Brianna called out softly, Mr. Devin? He turned back. Yes. You're a good man. Mama says there aren't many good men, but you're one. Devon's expression softened. There are more good people in the world than bad ones, Brianna. I promise you that. Your mama just had the bad luck of meeting one of the wrong ones. But that's over now. In the hospital, Tasha lay in the clean white bed, her body aching but her mind finally starting to settle. A nurse had given her pain medication, and for the first time in months, she felt safe enough to close her eyes without fear. The police had taken her statement. Randy was in custody with bail set high enough that he wouldn't get out anytime soon. A victim advocate had visited, explaining resources available to her, legal aid options and temporary housing assistance. But the thing that kept circling through her mind was Devon Mitchell. She'd recognized his name once the shock wore off. Everyone knew Devon Mitchell. He'd built a tech company from nothing and was worth billions now. He was in magazines, on news programs. And he'd dropped everything to help them. Her phone, retrieved from the apartment by police, buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Devon. Brianna is safe and settled. She ate a good dinner and is watching a movie. She's a remarkable child. Get some rest. I'll bring her to see you first thing tomorrow morning. Tasha typed back with one hand, the other arm strapped due to her ribs. Thank you doesn't seem like enough. You saved our lives tonight. His response came quickly. Brianna saved your lives. I just showed up. Rest well. Everything is going to be okay now. Tasha closed her eyes, feeling tears slide down her temples. For the first time in 6 months, she believed that maybe things really could be okay. A stranger had shown her more kindness in one night than Randy had in their entire relationship. She'd accepted his help without the usual pride that would have made her refuse, and that decision had given her daughter a safe place to sleep and herself a chance to heal. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. But tonight, both she and Brianna were safe, and that was something she hadn't been able to say in a very long time. In the hotel suite, Brianna finally fell asleep halfway through the movie, her small body relaxed for the first time in months. In the next room, Devon sat at the desk, making calls and sending emails to his legal team, coordinating resources for Tasha and Brianna's fresh start. He'd meant what he said to Brianna. Someone had helped his family once and he'd never forgotten. Tonight, he'd been able to pass that kindness forward. And something told him this was just the beginning. Morning light filtered through the hospital window as Tasha woke to gentle knocking. A nurse peeked in with a warm smile. Good morning, Ms. Williams. You have visitors. Tasha sat up slowly, her body still aching, and her heart jumped when Brianna rushed through the door. Devon followed behind, carrying a bag from a local department store. Mama, Brianna climbed carefully onto the bed, mindful of her mother's injuries. The hotel was so nice. I had pancakes for breakfast. Mr. Devon said I could order anything I wanted. Tasha pulled her daughter close with her good arm, breathing in the familiar scent of her shampoo. I'm so glad you're okay, baby. Devon set the bag down near the bed. I hope you don't mind. I picked up some clothes for both of you. The ones from the apartment. I thought you might want fresh things. Tasha looked at the bag, then at Devon. You didn't have to do that. I wanted to. The doctor says you can be discharged this morning. I've arranged for a suite at the hotel for the next month, fully paid. It's in a secure building with 24-hour security. You and Brianna can stay there while you figure out your next steps. Tasha's automatic response was to refuse. She'd been independent her whole life, working hard to provide for Brianna even when times got tough. Accepting this level of help from a stranger felt wrong somehow. But then she looked at her daughter's hopeful face and remembered the alternative, returning to their apartment where Randy had terrorized them, scraping together money for a deposit on a new place they couldn't afford, bouncing between shelters or her sister's already crowded house. I can't accept all this, she started, but Devon gently interrupted. I understand this is a lot. But please think of it as a temporary bridge. You need time to heal, time to figure things out without the pressure of immediate housing concerns. Brianna needs stability. This isn't charity. This is just help from someone who has the resources to give it. But why? Tasha asked, her voice cracking. Why would you do all this for people you don't know? Devon pulled up a chair and sat down, his voice thoughtful. When I was 12, my father died. We had money, but suddenly my mother was alone with 2 kids and family members trying to take advantage of her grief. A lawyer named Thomas Peterson stepped in. He wasn't our family lawyer, just someone who'd known my father professionally. He helped my mother navigate the legal complexities, protected her rights, made sure we were okay. He refused payment. He paused, looking at Brianna, who was listening intently. I asked him why once. He said, because I can and because someone helped me when I needed it. That lesson stuck with me. I built my company on the idea that we should use our resources to make things better, not just for profit but for people. Last night I got a text from a scared little girl. I could help. So I did. Tasha felt tears building. I promise I'll pay you back somehow. There's no debt here. But if you want to do something, focus on healing and building a good life for you and Brianna. That's all I ask. A social worker arrived shortly after, a kind woman named Veronica Santos who specialized in domestic violence cases. She sat with Tasha and explained the legal process ahead. Randy's been charged with assault and domestic battery. The restraining order is in place. He's not allowed within 500 feet of you or Brianna. His bail hearing is this afternoon, but given the severity and his prior record, I expect bail to be substantial. Prior record? Tasha's head snapped up. What prior record? Veronica glanced at her notes. He has 2 previous domestic violence charges from before you met him. Different victims. Both cases were dismissed when the victims didn't press charges. Tasha felt sick. She'd never known. Randy had seemed so charming at first, so different from the angry man he'd become. I'm pressing charges, Tasha said firmly. I won't let him do this to someone else. Good, Veronica said. You're doing the right thing. I've also arranged for you to meet with a legal aid attorney tomorrow. They'll help you with the criminal case and with any other legal matters, like custody documentation for Brianna. Devin had been standing by the window giving them privacy, but now he spoke up. I've also asked my company's legal team to be available if you need them. They can't replace your personal attorney, but they can provide resources and support. The social worker looked at Devin with obvious respect. Mr. Mitchell, your assistance has been remarkable. Most survivors don't have access to this level of support. That's exactly why I want to help, Devin said. Everyone deserves safety and resources, not just those who can afford it. By afternoon, Tasha was discharged from the hospital. Devin drove them to the hotel in his car, and Brianna chattered excitedly about the suite, describing every detail to her mother. When they arrived, Tasha couldn't believe what she was seeing. The suite was bigger than any apartment she'd ever lived in. 2 bedrooms, a full kitchen, a living area with comfortable furniture, and windows that overlooked the city. Everything was clean and bright, decorated in cheerful blues and greens. This is too much, Tasha whispered. It's a corporate suite my company keeps for visiting executives, Devin explained. It was empty this month. You're actually doing me a favor by using it. Brianna ran to explore, her delighted squeals echoing from the bedrooms. Tasha turned to Devin, tears streaming down her face. I don't know how to thank you. You just did. Seeing Brianna happy, seeing you safe, that's all the thanks I need. A knock on the door interrupted them. Devin opened it to reveal hotel staff carrying bags of groceries, toiletries, and other essentials. I took the liberty of having the basics delivered, Devin said. But if there's anything else you need, just call the front desk. Everything's covered. As the staff set things up in the kitchen, Tasha felt overwhelmed by the kindness. She'd spent so long believing she had to handle everything alone, that accepting help was weakness. But watching Brianna's joy, feeling her own body starting to relax for the first time in months, she realized that accepting help wasn't weakness. It was wisdom. Devin, she said softly. Thank you. I'm accepting your help with gratitude. You've given us a chance to start over. Devin smiled. That's all I wanted to hear. Now, I'm going to leave you and Brianna to settle in. Here's my card with my personal number. Call me anytime, day or night, if you need anything. I'll check in tomorrow to see how you're doing. After Devin left, Tasha and Brianna explored their temporary home. Brianna picked the bedroom with the view of the park, and Tasha helped her unpack the new clothes Devin had brought. Simple things. Jeans, t-shirts in bright colors, comfortable pajamas, a warm jacket for Brianna. Mama, Brianna said as she folded a green sweater into a drawer, is Mr. Devin going to keep helping us? I don't know, baby. But even if he doesn't, he's already given us something amazing. He's given us safety and time to figure things out. I like him, Brianna announced. He has kind eyes. Tasha had to agree. In all the chaos and fear of the past 24 hours, Devin's steady presence had been an anchor. He didn't make her feel weak or pitted. He treated them with respect and dignity, and that meant everything. That evening, they ordered room service and Brianna watched another movie while Tasha sat at the kitchen table with a notebook. She needed to make a plan. Find a job. Find permanent housing they could afford. Get Brianna back into school. She'd been missing days lately because Tasha was too afraid to let her go when Randy was in one of his moods. Her phone buzzed with a text from Devin. I hope you're settling in well. I wanted to mention that my company is hiring for several positions, including customer service and administrative roles. No pressure at all, but if you're interested, I can forward you the information. The positions come with full benefits including health insurance. Tasha stared at the message. A job. At his company. With benefits. It felt like too much, like she was taking advantage. But then she thought about Brianna's future, about building a real life instead of just surviving. She typed back, I would be very interested. Thank you for thinking of me. I have customer service experience from before Brianna was born. His response came quickly, perfect. I'll have HR contact you tomorrow. No special treatment, you'll interview like everyone else. But I wanted to make sure you knew about the opportunities. Tasha smiled for the first time in what felt like forever. Not just a smile of relief but of hope. Over the next few days, life took on a new rhythm. Tasha met with the legal aid attorney, a sharp woman named Jennifer Rodriguez who took her case with fierce determination. She met with the victim advocate who helped her process the trauma and start therapy. She interviewed for the customer service position at Devon's company and got the call 2 days later offering her the job. Devon checked in regularly, always respectful, never intrusive. He brought Brianna books and art supplies. He made sure they had everything they needed but never made Tasha feel like a charity case. He treated them like people who deserved help, like friends who were going through a hard time. 3 weeks after that terrible night, Tasha started her new job. The office was beautiful, the people were welcoming, and the work was engaging. She was good at it too. Years of dealing with difficult people had given her patience and problem-solving skills that translated perfectly to customer relations. Brianna started at a new school near the hotel, and slowly the fear began to leave her eyes. She laughed more. She made friends. She stopped having nightmares about Randy. And through it all, Devon remained a quiet, steady presence. He never asked for anything in return. He never made Tasha feel obligated. He simply showed up when needed and stepped back when they needed space. One evening, as Tasha tucked Brianna into bed, her daughter looked up at her with serious eyes. Mama, I'm glad I texted the wrong number. Tasha kissed her forehead. Me too, baby. Me too. What neither of them knew yet was that this was just the beginning of something that would change all their lives in ways they couldn't imagine. 6 weeks after that first desperate text, Tasha sat at her desk in the bright, modern office of Mitchell Technologies and realized she was actually happy. Not just relieved or grateful, but genuinely happy. Her work evaluations had been excellent, her supervisor praised her natural talent with difficult customers, and she'd made friends with several co-workers. Tasha, line 3 is asking for a manager, but I think you can handle it, her colleague Rita Chin said, peeking over their shared cubicle wall. It's Mr. Hendricks again. Tasha smiled and picked up the phone. Mr. Hendricks was a repeat caller, elderly and frustrated with technology, but she'd learned his patterns. 15 minutes later, she'd solved his problem and he was thanking her profusely. You're a gem, young lady. You remind me of my daughter. As she hung up, she noticed Devon walking through the office with another executive. He caught her eye and gave a brief nod of acknowledgement before continuing his conversation. He always did that, treating her like any other employee during work hours, maintaining her dignity and professional standing. At lunch, Tasha met with Jennifer, her legal aid attorney, at a nearby cafe. The restraining order has been extended for 2 years, Jennifer said, sliding papers across the table. And Randy took a plea deal. 3 years in prison with mandatory anger management and substance abuse counseling. He won't be eligible for parole for at least 18 months. Tasha let out a breath she felt like she'd been holding for weeks. It's really over? The legal part is. The healing part takes longer, but yes, you're safe now. He can't come near you or Brianna. After Jennifer left, Tasha sat in the cafe, drinking her coffee and watching people walk by outside. Life was moving forward. She had a job, a safe place to live until she could afford her own apartment, and her daughter was thriving. But she couldn't stay in the hotel suite forever, no matter how generous Devon was being. That evening, she sat down with her laptop and started seriously searching for apartments. She had her first paycheck now, and while it wasn't much yet, she could start planning. She found a decent 2-bedroom in a safe neighborhood that would be affordable if she was careful with money. Her phone rang. Devon's name appeared on the screen. Hi, she answered. Hi, Tasha. I hope I'm not disturbing you. I wanted to talk to you about something. Are you free for coffee tomorrow before work? Of course. Is everything okay? Everything's fine. I just have some things I'd like to discuss. See you at 7 at the cafe across from the office? The next morning, Tasha arrived at the cafe to find Devon already there, 2 coffees on the table. He stood when she approached, ever the gentleman. "Thank you for meeting me," he said as they sat down. "Of course. You sounded serious on the phone." Devon smiled. "Not serious, just thoughtful. I've been watching you work over the past few weeks. You're exceptionally good at your job. Your supervisor says you're the best hire they've made this year." Tasha felt herself blush. "I'm just doing my job. You're doing more than that. You're making customers feel heard and valued. That's a rare skill." He paused. "I wanted to talk to you about two things. First, there's an opening in our customer relations management team. It's a promotion with a significant salary increase and more responsibility. I think you'd be perfect for it, but I wanted to ask if you'd be interested before I have HR formally offer it." Tasha's heart raced. "A promotion? Already? Based purely on merit? I've seen your call metrics, read your customer feedback, and talked to your supervisor. You've earned this. The question is whether you want it." "Yes," Tasha said without hesitation. "Yes, I want it." "Good. You'll interview with the department head next week, but I'm confident you'll get it." He took a sip of his coffee. "The second thing is more personal. I know you've been looking at apartments." Tasha froze. "How did you?" "I wasn't snooping. Your browser was open at work yesterday when I walked past your desk. I wasn't trying to see, but I noticed." He held up his hands. "I want to help with that too. Devon, you've already done so much." "I know. But hear me out. My company has a housing assistance program for employees. We provide low-interest loans for deposits and first month's rent. You pay it back through payroll. Deductions at a rate you can afford. It's a program we offer to all employees, but not everyone knows about it." Tasha felt tears building. "You set that program up for me, didn't you?" Devon's smile was gentle. "I set it up for anyone who needs it. But yes, you inspired it. There are probably dozens of employees who need this help but never asked. You helped me see that gap. I don't know what to say. Say you'll apply for it. Say you'll let me help you build something stable. And then, when you're established and secure, maybe someday you'll help someone else who needs it." This was the pattern with Devon, Tasha was learning. He didn't just solve immediate problems. He created systems that could help others. He thought bigger than just one person's need. "I'll apply," she said softly. "Thank you." Again. "You're welcome." Again. His eyes twinkled with humor. They talked for another 30 minutes about practical things. What apartment neighborhoods were good for schools, how the loan program worked, what the management position would entail. But underneath the practical conversation, Tasha felt something shifting. Devon wasn't just her rescuer anymore. He was becoming someone she genuinely liked and respected. Someone she looked forward to seeing. At work that day, Tasha caught herself watching Devon as he moved through the office. He stopped at people's desks, remembered details about their lives, celebrated small victories. He was hands-on but never micromanaging, present but not overbearing. His employees genuinely seemed to like working for him, not just because he paid well but because he treated them like people. During her lunch break, Tasha called her sister Gloria. The Aunt Brianna had originally tried to text that fateful night. "Girl, you're not going to believe this," Tasha said, settling onto a bench outside the building. "Devon offered me a promotion. The billionaire who rescued you is promoting you?" "Tasha, be careful. Men don't do nice things for free." "He's not like that, Gloria. He's genuinely kind. He treats me like a professional, not like someone he saved." "And how do you feel about him?" Tasha paused. "What do you mean?" "Don't play. I hear it in your voice. You like him. He's my boss. And my friend. That's all." "Keep telling yourself that," Gloria laughed. "But Tasha, seriously, be careful. Rich men are complicated." "I know. I'm being careful. But he's not what you think. He's just good." After they hung up, Tasha sat thinking about Gloria's words. Did she have feelings for Devon? She admired him, certainly. She was grateful to him, obviously. But was there something more? She pushed the thought away. Right now, she needed to focus on building her life, not on complicated feelings for a man who was way out of her league. That weekend, Devon invited Tasha and Brianna to visit his family estate for a casual lunch. His mother, he explained, had been asking to meet them. "You don't have to," Devon said quickly. "I know it might feel like too much. But my mother heard about what happened and she wants to meet you both. She's very kind, I promise." Tasha's instinct was to refuse, to keep boundaries clear. But Brianna overheard the invitation and her eyes lit up with excitement. "Can we go, Mama? Please? Mr. Devon says his house has a big garden." So that Sunday they drove out to the Mitchell family estate. Tasha tried not to gape at the size of the property, the elegant stone house, the manicured grounds. Devon's mother, Patricia Mitchell, met them at the door wearing a comfortable blue dress and the warmest smile Tasha had ever seen. "You must be Tasha and Brianna," Patricia said, embracing Tasha like an old friend. "I'm so glad you came. Please come in." The house was beautiful but lived in, comfortable rather than intimidating. Patricia led them to a sunny room overlooking the garden where lunch was set up on a casual table. "I hope sandwiches are okay," Patricia said. Devon mentioned Brianna likes turkey. Brianna nodded enthusiastically and soon they were all eating and talking. Patricia asked about Brianna's school, about Tasha's new job, about their lives with genuine interest rather than polite curiosity. After lunch, Devon took Brianna out to the garden to show her the koi pond while Patricia and Tasha sat on the terrace with tea. "I wanted to meet you," Patricia said gently, "because I know what you went through. Not exactly, everyone's situation is unique, but I understand." Tasha looked at her in surprise. Devon mentioned something about his father. Devon's father was a good man in many ways, but he had demons. Alcohol, anger, the pressure of his business. For years I made excuses. Then one day when Devon was 12, something happened that opened my eyes. A colleague of my husband's, Thomas Peterson, saw what was happening and helped me leave. He got me the legal help I needed, protected my assets, made sure my children and I were safe. Devon told me about Mr. Peterson. Thomas changed our lives. And he taught Devon something crucial, that people with resources have a responsibility to help others. That's why Devon built his company the way he did. It's not just about profit. It's about creating something that makes the world better. "He's a remarkable person," Tasha said softly. Patricia studied her with knowing eyes. "Yes. And he cares about you and Brianna very much. More than just as people he helped, I think." Tasha felt her cheeks warm. "We're just friends." "Good friendships are the foundation of everything important," Patricia said wisely. "I'm just saying keep your heart open. Devon doesn't let people in easily. The fact that he brought you here to meet me means something." In the garden, Brianna was showing Devon how she could skip stones across the pond. He cheered when she got one to bounce 3 times. "Mr. Devon," Brianna said, "why don't you have kids of your own?" Devon sat down on the stone edge of the pond. "I've been so focused on building my company that I haven't had time for family yet. But I like kids. You're pretty great, for instance. You should have your own family someday. You'd be a good dad." Devon felt something warm spread through his chest. "You think so?" "Yeah. You're patient and kind. And you came when I needed help. That's what good dads do. Your mama's doing a great job raising you, you know. You're smart and brave. Mama's the best. But she's been sad for a long time. Since before Randy. She works really hard to take care of me. I know she does. Your mama is one of the strongest people I've ever met." Brianna looked at him seriously. "Do you like my mama?" Devon blinked, caught off guard. "Of course I like your mama. She's my friend." "No, I mean, do you like her? Devon couldn't help but smile. "Why do you ask?" "Because you look at her the way my friend's dad looks at her mom. Like she's special." Out of the mouths of children, Devon thought. He did care about Tasha. More than he'd let himself fully acknowledge. But the situation was complicated. He didn't want her to feel obligated to return his feelings because of everything he'd done. "Your mama is special," he said carefully. "But right now the most important thing is that you're both happy and safe. Everything else can wait." Brianna seemed satisfied with this answer. "Okay. But I think you'd be good together. Mama smiles more when you're around." That evening, as Devon drove them back to the hotel, Brianna fell asleep in the back seat. Tasha turned to look at him in the dimming light. "Your mother is wonderful," she said softly. "Thank you for sharing her with us. She adores you both. She asked when you're coming back." "Really? Really? You're welcome anytime. Both of you." They drove in comfortable silence for a while. Then Tasha spoke again. "Devon, can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Why, I mean, I understand helping someone in danger. But you've gone so far beyond that. You've changed our lives completely. Why?" Devon thought about how to answer. "Honestly, at first it was just about helping someone who needed it. But then I met you and Brianna and I saw your strength. How you're rebuilding. How Brianna's already healing because you're giving her security and love. I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to see you both thrive. But there's more to it than that, isn't there?" Devon glanced at her, then back at the road. "Maybe. But I don't want you to feel pressured. You're rebuilding your life. That's what matters." Tasha reached over and gently touched his arm. "I don't feel pressured. I feel grateful. And I feel something else too, but I'm not ready to name it yet. Devon's heart beat faster. That's okay. There's no rush. When they arrived at the hotel, Devon walked them to their suite. Brianna woke up enough to hug him goodnight, then stumbled to her bedroom. Tasha stood at the door with Devon, neither quite ready to say goodbye. Thank you for today, she said. It was perfect. I'm glad you came. My mother hasn't stopped talking about Brianna. I think you made her day. They stood there for a moment longer, the air between them charged with something new and fragile. Good night, Devon. Good night, Tasha. As Devon drove home, he thought about what Brianna had asked him. Did he like Tasha? The answer was becoming clearer every day. He more than liked her. He admired her strength, her resilience, her dedication to her daughter. He enjoyed her company, her perspective, her laugh. But he also knew timing was everything. Tasha was healing, rebuilding, finding herself again. The last thing he wanted was to complicate that journey. So he would wait. He would be her friend, her supporter, her champion. And if someday she felt the same way he was starting to feel, then they would figure it out together. For now, it was enough to know that she and Brianna were safe, happy, and building a life full of hope. 3 months after the rescue, autumn painted the city in shades of gold and amber. Tasha stood in her new apartment, a cozy 2-bedroom in a safe neighborhood with good schools, feeling proud of everything she'd accomplished. The furniture was modest but comfortable, the walls decorated with Brianna's artwork from school, and the kitchen smelled like the cookies she was baking. The housing assistance loan from Mitchell Technologies had made this possible, along with her promotion to customer relations manager. She was making good money now, enough to support herself and Brianna with some left over for savings. For the first time in her adult life, she wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. A knock on the door made her check the peephole. Devon stood outside, holding a potted plant. Housewarming gift, he said with a smile when she opened the door. I figured flowers die too quickly, so I brought something you can keep. It's beautiful, Tasha said, accepting the small jade plant. Come in. Brianna's at her friend's house for a playdate, but I just made cookies. Devon followed her into the kitchen, looking around with approval. You've made this place really homey. It suits you. It's not much, but it's ours. Really ours. Tasha poured them both coffee and set out the cookies. No more hotels, no more dependents. Just me and Brianna making it work. You've done more than make it work. You've thrived. They sat at her small kitchen table, the afternoon light streaming through the window. Over the past months, these coffee conversations had become a regular thing. Devon would stop by after work sometimes, or they'd grab lunch on weekends. Always casual, always friendly, but Tasha couldn't deny the growing warmth between them. How's the management position going? Devon asked. Better than I expected. I was nervous about supervising people, but it turns out I'm good at it. My team hit all their targets this month. I know. I saw the reports. Your supervisor is very impressed. Tasha smiled. You know, when you first offered me that job, I was worried people would think I only got it because of everything. But I proved myself. I earned my place there. You absolutely did. Nobody questions your merit, Tasha. You're one of our best employees. Thank you for giving me that chance. For seeing past the victim and seeing the person who could contribute. Devon's expression grew serious. I never saw you as just a victim. From the moment I met you, I saw strength. Victims don't fight back. Survivors do. You're a survivor. The intensity in his eyes made Tasha's breath catch. She looked away, reaching for a cookie she didn't really want. So, Brianna's birthday is next month, she said, changing the subject. She wants to have a party with her new friends from school. It's the first time she's felt secure enough to ask for something like that. That's wonderful. What's the plan? Just something simple at the park. Games, pizza, cake. Nothing fancy. Can I help? Maybe bring the cake. Tasha hesitated. Devon had already done so much. But she was learning to accept help graciously, to understand that people who cared wanted to contribute. Actually, yes. She'd love that. But only if you're free. I know you're busy. I'll make time. Brianna's birthday is important. As they talked about party plans, Tasha realized how natural this had become. Having Devon in their lives, sharing ordinary moments, building a friendship that felt solid and real. He wasn't just the billionaire who'd rescued them anymore. He was Devon, the man who remembered Brianna liked chocolate cake better than vanilla, who asked about Tasha's mother's health, who shared stories about his own life. Can I ask you something personal? Tasha said. Of course. Gloria, my sister, she keeps asking why you're still around. She thinks Well, she wonders if you have ulterior motives. Devin set down his coffee cup. What do you think? I think you're my friend. But I also think. She paused, gathering courage. I also think there might be something more. Or maybe I'm imagining it. Devin's gaze held hers. You're not imagining it. But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to pressure you or complicate your healing process. Tasha's heart raced. So you do have feelings for me? Yes. I care about you, Tasha. Not because I rescued you but because of who you are. Your strength, your intelligence, the way you love Brianna, the way you've rebuilt your life. I find myself wanting to be part of that life, not as a benefactor but as something more. But, Tasha prompted, hearing the hesitation in his voice. But I want you to be sure. I want you to feel these things because you feel them, not because you're grateful or because you think you owe me anything. You don't owe me anything. Tasha thought about this. Did she have feelings for Devin because of gratitude? She examined her heart honestly. When she saw him, her pulse quickened. When they talked, she felt understood in a way she'd never experienced before. When he smiled at her, something warm bloomed in her chest. And it wasn't about what he'd done for her. It was about who he was. I've been asking myself the same question, she admitted, trying to separate gratitude from genuine feeling. But Devin, when I think about you, it's not about the rescue. It's about the man who remembers that Brianna doesn't like onions, who asks about my day and really listens to the answer, who treats me as an equal even though you're a billionaire and I'm still learning to budget properly. Devin leaned forward. So what do we do about it? I don't know. I'm scared. My judgment hasn't been great in the past. Randy wasn't a failure of judgment. He was a man who hid who he really was. You couldn't have known. Maybe. But I still need to go slow. For me and for Brianna. Slow is good. I'm not going anywhere. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the acknowledgement of their feelings hanging in the air like something precious and fragile. So we're friends who have feelings for each other? Tasha said with a small smile. Exactly. Friends who are taking things slow and seeing where it goes. I can do that. That weekend, Devin invited them to a company family day at a local adventure park. Mitchell Technologies held these events quarterly, and Devin insisted it would be good for Brianna to meet other kids of employees. The park was filled with families laughing and playing. Devin had rented out the entire facility so his employees could enjoy it without crowds. Brianna immediately spotted the zip line and begged to go. Can you come with me, Mr. Devin? She asked. Of course. Let's do it together. Tasha watched from the ground as Devin and Brianna, both wearing safety harnesses, launched across the zip line. Brianna's delighted screams made Tasha's heart swell. This was what childhood should be. Joy, safety, adventure. A woman approached Tasha, a friendly smile on her face. Your daughter seems fearless. She's learning to be, Tasha said. I'm Tasha, by the way. Carol Henderson. I work in accounting. Is this your first family day? Yes. We're still new to the company. Welcome. These events are one of the reasons I love working here. Mr. Mitchell really values family time. Carol watched Devin help Brianna unhook from the zip line. He's wonderful with kids. My son adores him. More employees introduced themselves as the day went on. Tasha realized that Devin's kindness wasn't just for her. He genuinely cared about his employees and their families. He played tag with the kids, talked shop with the adults, and made everyone feel valued. At lunch, Brianna sat with a group of kids while Devin joined Tasha at a picnic table. You're good at this, Tasha observed. Making people feel seen. It's not hard when you genuinely care. These people make my company successful. The least I can do is show up for them. Still, not every CEO would spend his Saturday playing tag with employees' kids. Devin shrugged. What's the point of success if you can't use it to make people happy? Later, as the sun began to set, Devin drove them home. Brianna fell asleep in the back seat, exhausted from the day's activities. She calls you Mr. D now, Tasha said softly. She used to call you Mr. Devin, but somewhere along the way it got shorter. More familiar. I noticed. I like it. She's getting attached to you. I need you to know that. If this thing between us doesn't work out, it won't just be me who's hurt. Devin pulled the car over to the side of the road and turned to face her. Tasha, I understand the risk. But I need you to understand something too. I don't do things halfway. If we're going to explore this, I'm all in. I'm not going to hurt Brianna. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm in this for real. How can you be sure? Because I know myself. I don't let people into my life easily. But when I do, I'm committed. You and Brianna, you've become part of my life. Not because I saved you, but because I want you there. Tasha felt tears building. I want that too. I'm just scared. Being scared is okay. We'll figure it out together. He reached across and took her hand. It was the first time they'd held hands and it felt significant. Not just comfort but connection. Promise. If you're enjoying this journey of hope and healing, please subscribe to see how their story continues. Drop a comment below about what you think will happen next. Your support means everything to our community of storytelling. The following week, Devin invited Tasha to dinner. Not a casual coffee but a real date. She was nervous getting ready, changing outfits 3 times before settling on a simple red dress that Gloria had convinced her to buy. You look beautiful, Mama, Brianna said from the doorway of Tasha's bedroom. Thank you, baby. Are you okay staying with Aunt Gloria tonight? I'm good. I like when you're happy. And you're happy with Mr. D. Tasha knelt down to her daughter's level. You really like him, don't you? He's nice to us. He makes you smile. And he never gets angry. Brianna's expression grew more serious. Randy used to get so angry. Mr. D never does that. No, he doesn't. He's very different from Randy. Good. You deserve someone nice. Devin arrived promptly at 7, dressed in a blue suit that made his eyes stand out. He brought flowers for Tasha and a book for Brianna. For your collection, he said, handing Brianna a beautifully illustrated book about science. Cool. Thank you, Mr. D. After dropping Brianna at Gloria's, Devin took Tasha to a quiet restaurant with excellent food and soft lighting. Nothing ostentatious, just elegant and intimate. I've been looking forward to this all week, Devin admitted as they studied their menus. Me too. Feels strange going on a real date. I haven't done this in years. We can take it as slow as you need. They talked about everything over dinner. Tasha shared stories from her childhood, growing up with Gloria and their parents who'd passed away when she was 20. Devin talked about building his company, about the early struggles and small victories. People think it was all easy because I had family money, Devin said. But my father had squandered most of it. After my mother left him, we were comfortable but not wealthy. I built the company from a small investment and a lot of hard work. That makes what you've accomplished even more impressive. The money isn't what matters. It's what you do with it. I wanted to create something that made a difference, not just for me but for people who work there and people we serve. Tasha reached across the table and took his hand. You're doing that. Look at what you've done for me and Brianna. That's just the beginning. I have plans to expand our housing assistance program, to offer childcare support, to create more opportunities for people who need a second chance. You're going to change a lot of lives. I hope so. That's the goal. After dinner, they walked through a nearby park, enjoying the cool autumn evening. Devin held her hand and Tasha felt something she hadn't experienced in years. Hope for the future. Not just survival but real happiness. Can I ask you something? Devin said as they sat on a bench overlooking a small pond. Anything. What do you want for your future? If you could have anything, what would it be? Tasha thought about this. I want Brianna to grow up feeling safe and loved. I want to finish college, maybe get a degree in social work so I can help other people in situations like I was in. I want a home that's really mine, not rented. And I want... She paused, gathering courage. I want to find real love. The kind that builds you up instead of tearing you down. Devin lifted her hand and kissed her knuckles gently. Those are good goals. And for what it's worth, I think you'll achieve all of them. What about you? What do you want? Devin looked out at the pond, considering. I want to build something lasting with my company. I want to make my mother proud. And I want a family. Real connection, not just business relationships. I want someone to share my life with, someone who sees me for who I am, not what I have. I see you, Tasha said softly. The real you. Not the billionaire, not the CEO. Just Devin, the man who came running when a scared little girl texted him. The man who treats everyone with kindness. That's who I see. Devin turned to her, his eyes intense. Can I kiss you? Tasha's heart raced. Yes. The kiss was gentle, tentative, a question and an answer all at once. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. I've wanted to do that for weeks, Devin admitted. Me too. They sat for a while longer, talking and laughing, building this new thing between them. When Devin drove her home, he walked her to her door like a gentleman. Thank you for tonight, Tasha said. It was perfect. We should do it again soon. I'd like that. After Devin left, Tasha leaned against her closed door, smiling. She picked Brianna up from Gloria's, and her sister took one look at her face and grinned. That good, huh? Better. Gloria, I think I'm falling for him. Good. You deserve someone who treats you right. And from what I've seen, Devin Mitchell is one of the good ones. As Tasha tucked Brianna into bed that night, her daughter looked up at her with knowing eyes. You kissed Mr. D, didn't you? Tasha laughed. How did you know? You're glowing. That's what Aunt Gloria says happens when people are happy in love. I'm happy. We're both happy. And safe. And loved. I'm glad, Brianna yawned. Mr. D's going to be part of our family, isn't he? Maybe. Would you like that? Yeah. He's good people, Mama. He's really good people. As Tasha turned off the light and closed Brianna's door, she thought about how much had changed in just a few months. From terror and desperation to safety and hope. From survival to actually living. And it had all started with a wrong number and a man who chose to help. November brought cold winds and early darkness, but inside Tasha's apartment, warmth and light filled every corner. Brianna's 9th birthday party had been a huge success. 15 kids from school, games in the park despite the chill, and Devin's chocolate cake had been declared the best ever by the birthday girl herself. Now, as Tasha cleaned up the remnants of wrapping paper and party decorations, she reflected on how normal her life had become. Normal in the best way. Steady job, happy child, genuine friends, and Devin. Devin, who had stayed to help clean up after all the parents collected their kids. Devin, who was currently in the kitchen loading the dishwasher while Brianna showed him pictures from her party on her new camera. Look, this one's my favorite, Brianna said, pointing to a photo of her and 3 friends making silly faces. That's a keeper, Devin agreed. You've got a good eye for photography. Maybe I'll be a photographer when I grow up. Or a scientist. Or maybe both. You can be anything you want, Devin said, ruffling her hair affectionately. Watching them together, Tasha felt her chest tighten with emotion. This was what family looked like. Not perfect but present. Not dramatic but dependable. Devin had become such a natural part of their lives that Brianna barely remembered a time before him. All right, birthday girl, Tasha called. Bath time. School tomorrow. But Mama, Mr. D is still here. I'll be here when you're done, Devin promised. We can say proper goodnight before I leave. After Brianna reluctantly headed to the bathroom, Devin joined Tasha in the living room. They'd fallen into an easy rhythm over the past months. Comfortable silences, shared smiles, casual touches that meant everything. Thank you for today, Tasha said, settling onto the couch. The cake, the presents, staying to help. You didn't have to do all that. Devin sat beside her, close enough that their knees touched. I wanted to. Seeing Brianna happy makes me happy. She adores you. She told Gloria last week that she wishes you were her dad. Devin's expression softened. What did you tell her? I told her that sometimes families are built, not born. That what matters is love and commitment, not biology. Do you believe that? I do now. Randy was Brianna's biological father, but he was never really her dad. You're more of a father to her after a few months than he ever was. Devin reached for her hand. Tasha, I need to tell you something. That sounds serious. Not serious, just honest. He took a breath. I'm falling in love with you. Actually, I think I've been falling for a while, but I wanted to be sure before I said it. I'm sure now. Tasha's breath caught. They'd been dating for 6 weeks, taking things slow, building trust. But hearing him say those words made everything real in a new way. I'm falling for you too, she admitted. It scares me sometimes. How much I care. How much Brianna cares. What happens if? Don't think about the if. Think about the now. Right now I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Promise? Promise? Tasha leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder. This was new for both of them. Devin had dated before, but he'd never let anyone close enough to matter. His focus had always been his company, his success. Tasha had been with Randy since she was 20, never experiencing healthy love. They were both learning together. My mother wants to have Thanksgiving at her house, Devin said. She's hoping you and Brianna will come. No pressure, but she asked me to invite you. Your whole family will be there? Just my mother, my sister Sophie, and Sophie's fiancé. Nothing overwhelming. They all want to meet you properly. Tasha sat up to look at him. Your sister doesn't know about us yet? She knows. I talk about you all the time, apparently. Mom says I'm smitten. Are you? Devin smiled. Completely smitten. Is that okay? It's more than okay. They kissed, slow and sweet, the kind of kiss that promised more but didn't rush. When they pulled apart, Brianna was standing in the doorway in her pajamas, grinning. I knew it, she announced. Your boyfriend and girlfriend now. Tasha laughed, her cheeks warm. We're taking things slow, baby. Slow is boring. Mr. D should just move in with us. Brianna, Tasha said, mortified. But Devin just laughed. Slow is good, kiddo. It means we're doing things right. After Devin left, Brianna climbed into bed with Tasha, something she still did when she had big feelings to process. Mama, do you love Mr. D? Tasha chose her words carefully. I'm starting to. Love takes time to grow properly. He loves us. I can tell. What makes you say that? The way he looks at you. Like you're the most important person in the world. And the way he listens when I talk about boring stuff from school. He really listens, not fake listens. You're very observant. If you marry him, would that make him my real dad? Tasha's heart clenched. Baby, we're not talking about marriage yet. We just started dating. But if you did? Then yes, he could adopt you if that's what everyone wanted. But that's way in the future. Brianna was quiet for a moment. I'd like that. I'd like to have a real dad. Someone who doesn't yell or hit. Someone like Mr. D. Tasha pulled her daughter close. You deserve that. We both do. The next weeks flew by in a blur of work, school, and building something real with Devin. They had dinner together twice a week, always including Brianna. Devin never pushed for alone time without her daughter, understanding that Brianna came first. Tasha appreciated that more than she could say. At work, Tasha continued to excel. Her team had the highest customer satisfaction scores in the company, and she'd been asked to present their strategies at the quarterly company meeting. You're amazing up there, Devin told her after the presentation. Have you thought about moving into training? Teaching others your methods? I love working with my team, Tasha said. But maybe someday. Right now, I'm exactly where I want to be. What she didn't say was that being in management felt meaningful. She was helping other people succeed, creating the kind of supportive environment she'd always wanted. Several team members had confided in her about their own struggles, and she'd been able to connect them with company resources that helped. One afternoon, Rita Chin stopped by Tasha's desk with coffee. Okay, spill, Rita said, settling into the visitor chair. You and the boss. Everyone's talking. Tasha felt her face heat. There's nothing to talk about. Please. He looks at you like you hung the moon. And you light up whenever he walks into a room. It's adorable. We're keeping it professional at work. I know. That's why everyone respects it. No favoritism, no weirdness. Just two people who clearly care about each other. Rita leaned forward. For what it's worth, everyone thinks you're good for him. He seems happier lately. He makes me happy too. Good. You both deserve it. Thanksgiving arrived cold and bright. Devin picked them up early to drive to his family estate. Brianna wore her best green dress, and Tasha had chosen a maroon sweater that made her feel confident and comfortable. Patricia Mitchell greeted them at the door with warm hugs. I'm so glad you came. Sophie's been dying to meet you. Sophie Mitchell was in her late 20s, tall and elegant with her brother's kind eyes. Her fiancé James was a warm, funny man who immediately started joking with Brianna. The day was perfect. Good food, easy conversation, laughter filling the beautiful house. Patricia told embarrassing stories about Devin as a child, and Sophie shared anecdotes about growing up with a brother who was always reading business books. He was insufferable, Sophie said with affection. Always talking about efficiency and systems. I was preparing for success, Devin protested. You were preparing to be alone, Patricia corrected gently. Until now. She smiled at Tasha, and Tasha felt accepted in a way she'd never experienced with Randy's family, who'd always made her feel less than. After dinner, while the others cleaned up, Devin took Tasha out to the garden. It was cold, but the space was lit with tiny lights, creating a magical atmosphere. Your family is wonderful, Tasha said, wrapping her coat tighter. They love you. Sophie told me you're exactly what I needed. What did you need? Someone real. Someone who sees me, not my success or my money. Someone who makes me want to be better. You're already pretty great. Devin pulled her close. I meant what I said before. I'm falling in love with you, Tasha. Every day a little more. I love you too, Tasha said, the words coming easier than she expected. I tried not to. I tried to be careful and protect my heart. But you make it impossible not to love you. Is that a bad thing? No. It's the best thing. They kissed under the stars and Tasha felt something shift inside her. This was it. This was what real love felt like. Safe and exciting all at once. Steady and surprising. Everything Randy had never been. Inside, Patricia watched through the window and smiled. About time, she murmured. Sophie joined her. They're good together. They are. She's brought him to life. He's been hiding behind his work for years. But with her he's present. He's happy. Think it's serious? I think it's forever, Patricia said softly. Back at Tasha's apartment that night, Brianna was tucked in and sleeping, exhausted from a day of playing with James and exploring the estate. Tasha and Devin sat on the couch, his arm around her shoulders. Thank you for today, Tasha said. Your family made us feel like we belonged. You do belong. With me. With us. It's still hard to believe sometimes. That this is my life now. Believe it? You've earned every bit of happiness you have. They sat in comfortable silence and Tasha thought about how far she'd come. From that terrible night of violence to this moment of perfect peace. From fear to love. From survival to thriving. And it had started with a wrong number and a man who chose to help. December arrived with the first snowfall, transforming the city into a winter wonderland. Tasha and Brianna decorated their apartment with lights and a small tree, creating their own traditions for the first time. Life felt stable, safe, predictable in the best way. Until the night everything changed. Tasha was preparing dinner while Brianna did homework at the kitchen table. A knock on the door made them both look up. Are you expecting someone? Brianna asked. No. Devin's not coming until tomorrow. Tasha walked to the door and checked the peephole. A delivery man held a package. She relaxed and opened the door with the chain still attached. Delivery for Tasha Williams, the man said, holding up a small box. I didn't order anything. It's been paid for. Just need your signature. Something felt off but Tasha couldn't place why. She signed for the package and took it inside, closing and locking the door immediately. The box had no return address, just her name in printed letters. She opened it carefully and froze. Inside was a photograph of her and Brianna from earlier that week, walking to school. Someone had drawn red marks across the image. Underneath was a note in handwriting she recognized. Did you think it was over? I'm coming back. Randy. Tasha's hands shook so badly she dropped the box. Brianna looked up from her homework. Mama? What's wrong? Baby, go to your room. Right now. Brianna saw her mother's face and didn't argue. She grabbed her school things and hurried to her bedroom, fear flickering in her eyes. Tasha grabbed her phone with trembling fingers and called Devin. He answered on the first ring. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Devin, Randy sent me something. A picture of me and Brianna with a threatening note. He knows where we live. Devin's voice immediately changed, becoming sharp and focused. Lock all your doors and windows right now. I'm calling building security and the police. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Stay on the phone with me. Tasha rushed through the apartment, checking locks while Devin coordinated with building security. She heard him making additional calls, his voice calm but urgent as he mobilized help. The police are on their way, Devin said. And I just talked to your building manager. He's pulling security footage to see if Randy is nearby. Tasha breathed. You're safe right now. How did he know where we are? How did he get out? He's supposed to be in prison. I don't know yet, but we're going to find out. Stay away from windows. Keep Brianna in her room. I'm 10 minutes away. Tasha went to Brianna's room. Her daughter was curled up on her bed, clutching her stuffed bear. Is it Randy? Brianna whispered. I don't know, baby. But Mr. D is coming and so are the police. We're going to be safe. 8 minutes later, she heard sirens. Police arrived first, followed quickly by Devin's car screeching to a stop outside. He took the stairs instead of waiting for the elevator, appearing at her door breathless and worried. Tasha let him in, and he immediately pulled her into his arms. You're okay. You're both okay. The police examined the package and took Tasha's statement. Detective Morrison, who'd handled the original case, arrived shortly after. Mr. Williams was released on a technicality 2 weeks ago, Morrison explained, his expression grim. His lawyer found an error in the arrest procedure. We tried to contact you, but the notification went to your old address. So he's just out? Free. Tasha felt her world tilting. Not free. He's still under a restraining order. Sending this package violates that order and we'll arrest him for it. But first, we need to find him. Devin's jaw tightened. She and Brianna can't stay here. Not tonight. I agree, Morrison said. Do you have somewhere safe to go? They're coming home with me, Devin said firmly. My estate has security, gates, cameras. He won't get near them. Tasha wanted to argue to insist they'd be fine, but fear overrode pride. Okay. Thank you. While police investigated, Tasha packed bags for her and Brianna. Devin helped, moving efficiently, keeping her calm with his steady presence. "We'll figure this out," he promised. "Randy isn't going to hurt either of you. I won't let him." They drove to Devin's estate in tense silence. Brianna sat in the back seat, clutching Tasha's hand, her earlier fear returning. Tasha's heart broke seeing her daughter scared again. At the estate, Patricia was waiting. Devin had called ahead and she'd prepared 2 rooms, made hot chocolate and created a safe space for them. "You're staying as long as you need," Patricia said, embracing Tasha. "This is your home now." That night, Brianna slept in Tasha's room, too afraid to be alone. Devin stayed up, monitoring security feeds and coordinating with police. By morning they had news. Randy had been arrested trying to enter Tasha's apartment building. Security had recognized him from the alerts sent out after the package delivery. He was being held without bail this time, charged with violating the restraining order and making terroristic threats. "He'll go back to prison," Detective Morrison assured them over the phone. "And this time there won't be any technicalities getting him out early." Tasha felt relief wash through her, but the fear remained. Randy had gotten out once. What if he did it again? Devin seemed to read her mind. "We're upgrading your apartment security. And I'm hiring a private security consultant to review all your safety protocols." "Devin, that's too much." "It's necessary. Tasha, I can't lose you. Either of you. Please let me do this." The fear in his eyes made her nod. "Okay. Yes. Thank you." Over the next week, they stayed at the estate while workers reinforced Tasha's apartment building security. Devin had new cameras installed, upgraded locks, and arranged for building security to have Randy's photo flagged in their system. But beyond the practical measures, something deeper was shifting. Devin's protective instincts had kicked into overdrive, and Tasha realized just how deeply he cared. He wasn't just helping anymore. He was invested. He was fighting for them. One evening, after Brianna had finally fallen asleep without nightmares, Tasha found Devin in his study, reviewing security reports. "You should get some rest," she said softly. "I can't. Not until I know you're completely safe." Tasha walked over and took the papers from his hands. "Devin, look at me." He met her eyes and she saw the fear there, barely controlled. "You can't protect us from everything," she said gently. "But you're doing enough. More than enough. Randy's in custody. The security is upgraded. We're safe. What if he gets out again? What if next time I'm not there? Then I'll handle it. I'm stronger now than I was. You helped me find that strength." Devin pulled her onto his lap, holding her tight. "When I got your call and heard the fear in your voice, I felt something I've never felt before. Pure terror. The thought of losing you, of anything happening to Brianna, it was unbearable. We're okay. We're right here." "I love you," Devin said, his voice raw. "I've been afraid to say it too much, to push too hard. But life is fragile and tomorrow isn't guaranteed. I love you, Tasha. Completely. I love you too." Tasha kissed him softly. "And we're going to be okay. Together." They sat like that for a long time, holding each other, finding comfort in presence and touch. The next day, Brianna seemed brighter. The fear was fading now that Randy was in custody. She explored the estate with renewed energy, and Devin showed her the stables where his mother kept 2 horses. "Can I learn to ride?" Brianna asked, eyes wide. "If your mama says yes," Devin replied, glancing at Tasha. "Please, Mama? Mr. D's right here. It would be safe." Tasha watched her daughter's excitement and realized that this was healing. Not just safety but joy. Not just surviving but living. "Okay. But you have to follow all the rules." Brianna cheered and hugged Devin. "Thank you, Mr. D. You're the best." Later, while Brianna rode a gentle mare around the ring with an instructor, Devin and Tasha walked the grounds. "She's going to be okay," Devin said. "She's resilient. Thanks to you. You gave us stability, safety, the chance to heal properly. You did that yourselves. I just provided resources. No, you provided hope. That's more valuable than any amount of money." They stopped near the garden, the same spot where they'd kissed on Thanksgiving. Snow dusted the ground now, creating a peaceful winter scene. "Tasha, I need to tell you something." "That sounds serious." "It is. This whole situation with Randy made me realize something. Life is uncertain. And I don't want to waste time being careful or taking things slow anymore. I love you. I love Brianna. I want you both in my life permanently." Tasha's heart raced. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that when you're ready, I want us to be a real family. Not boyfriend and girlfriend visiting each other. A family. Living together, building a life together, all of it." Devin, we've only been dating a few months. I know. That's why I said when you're ready. I'm not proposing right now. I'm just telling you where my heart is. So you know. So you can think about it. Tasha looked at this man who'd changed her life so completely. Who'd shown her what real love looked like. Who'd given her daughter security and joy. Who'd proven day after day that he was committed, present, and true. I'll think about it, she said softly. But Devin? I want that too. Maybe not tomorrow but someday soon. I want us to be a real family. Devin's smile could have lit up the darkest night. That's all I needed to hear. They returned to Tasha's apartment after 2 weeks, once every security measure was in place. The first night back was hard. Tasha jumped at every sound, checked the locks repeatedly, struggled to sleep. But Devin stayed over, sleeping on the couch, his presence a comfort. And gradually, over the following days, the fear subsided. Randy was in prison with a longer sentence this time. The security was solid. They were safe. And more than that, they were happy. One evening, as Tasha tucked Brianna into bed, her daughter looked up at her seriously. Mama, I think Mr. D is going to ask us to live with him. What makes you say that? The way he talks about the future. Like we're all in it together. How would you feel about that? Brianna didn't hesitate. I'd feel good. He makes us happy. And he keeps us safe. That's what real dads do, right? That's exactly what real dads do, baby. As Tasha turned off the light, she thought about Devin's words in the garden. About building a real family. About permanent commitment. And she realized she was ready. Not in a rushed way but in a way that felt natural and right. She loved him. Brianna loved him. And he loved them both. Sometimes the best families weren't the ones you were born into, but the ones you built through choice and love and unwavering commitment. And they were building something beautiful. Christmas Eve arrived with fresh snow blanketing the city. Tasha stood in her apartment, packing suitcases for their Christmas visit to the Mitchell estate. Devin had insisted they spend the holiday with his family, and after some hesitation, Tasha had agreed. Mama, can I bring my camera? Brianna called from her room. I want to take pictures of the horses. Yes, baby. Make sure it's charged. Tasha's phone buzzed with a text from Devin. Leaving the office now. Be there in 20 minutes. Can't wait to have you both home for Christmas. Home. He'd started calling the estate home when referring to them being there. It made Tasha's heart flutter every time. Gloria arrived to see them off, bringing last-minute cookies she'd baked. Look at you, Gloria said, pulling Tasha into a hug. Happy and glowing. This is what you deserve. I never thought I'd have this. Real happiness, a man who treats me right, security for Brianna. Devin's one of the good ones. Don't let him go. I won't. Devin arrived promptly, his face lighting up when he saw them. He'd brought a large wrapped present that he set by their Christmas tree. That's for tomorrow morning, he said to Brianna's curious look. But this one you can open now. He handed Tasha a small wrapped box. Inside was a delicate necklace with a star pendant. The star represents hope, Devin explained. You brought hope back into my life. Tasha felt tears building. It's beautiful. Thank you. There's an inscription. She turned the pendant over and read the tiny engraved words, To New Beginnings. The drive to the estate was filled with Christmas music and Brianna's excited chatter. The estate looked magical, decorated with thousands of lights and wreaths on every door. Patricia greeted them warmly, and Sophie and James had already arrived. The house smelled like pine and cinnamon, and a massive Christmas tree dominated the living room. We waited for you to decorate the tree, Sophie said. Devin insisted. They spent the evening decorating together, sharing stories and laughter. Patricia showed Brianna how to make traditional ornaments, and James taught her Christmas carols on the piano. Tasha watched her daughter bloom under all this attention and love. Later, after Brianna was in bed, the adults gathered in the living room with hot cocoa and wine. Devin tells me you're doing wonderful things at the company, Sophie said to Tasha. Your team has the highest ratings. I love the work. It feels meaningful, helping people solve problems and feel heard. That's exactly the culture Devin wanted to create. You embody it perfectly. Patricia leaned forward. Tasha, can I ask you something personal? Of course. Are you happy? Really happy? Tasha looked at Devin, who was watching her with gentle eyes. I am. For the first time in a very long time, I'm truly happy. Good. You've brought joy to our family. Devin's been different since he met you. Present. Open. More himself than he's been in years. Your son is a remarkable man. He saved my life. Both our lives. No, Patricia said softly. You saved each other. Christmas morning arrived with excitement and chaos. Brianna woke everyone at dawn, eager to open presents. Under the tree, gifts were piled high. Devin had gotten Brianna a professional camera with lessons included. She squealed with delight. For Tasha, he'd arranged a full scholarship to the community college, covering not just tuition but books, supplies and childcare for Brianna during classes. Devin, this is too much, Tasha protested, tears streaming down her face. It's not. You said you wanted to finish college and get a degree in social work. This makes that possible. You can start in January if you want. Tasha couldn't speak. She just wrapped her arms around him and held on tight. But the biggest surprise came after breakfast. Devin asked everyone to gather in the living room. He seemed nervous and Tasha wondered what was coming. I have one more present, Devin said. But this one isn't just for Christmas. It's for always. He pulled out an envelope and handed it to Brianna. You should open this, kiddo. Brianna tore it open and pulled out what looked like legal documents. Her eyes widened as she read, then she looked up at Devin with shock. What is it? Tasha asked. Brianna's voice shook. It's adoption papers. Mr. D wants to adopt me. Tasha's breath caught. She looked at Devin, who'd knelt down to Brianna's level. Only if you want me to, Devin said gently. I would be honored to be your dad officially and legally. But it's your choice, Brianna. No pressure. Brianna threw herself into his arms. Yes, I want you to be my dad. My real dad. Devin held her close, his own eyes wet. Then I'll be the best dad I can be. I promise. Tasha covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Devin looked up at her over Brianna's head. I know we haven't talked about this, he said. But I love her like she's already mine. If you're okay with it, I want to make it official. You want to adopt my daughter? I want to adopt our daughter. If you'll have me as part of your family. Tasha knelt down too, and the three of them held each other while Patricia, Sophie, and James watched with tears of their own. Yes, Tasha whispered. Yes, 1,000 times yes. The rest of Christmas Day was a blur of joy and tears and laughter. Patricia declared it the best Christmas ever. Sophie couldn't stop hugging Brianna, welcoming her officially as a niece. That evening, after Brianna was asleep, Devin and Tasha sat by the fireplace in his study. You surprised me today, Tasha said. I had no idea you were thinking about adoption. I've been thinking about it for weeks. Ever since Randy violated the restraining order, I realized I wanted legal rights to protect Brianna. Not just as your boyfriend but as her father. And beyond legal protection, I just love her. She's mine in every way that matters. She loves you too. She's been calling you Papa D to her friends at school. Devin's eyes widened. Really? Really? You're already her dad in her heart. This just makes it official. I want to do right by both of you. I want to be the man you both deserve. You already are. Devin took her hand. There's something else I want to talk about. Something I've been thinking about a lot. Okay. Move in with me. Both of you. Not just for visits but permanently. Make this your home. Tasha had known this was coming. They'd been dancing around it for weeks. That's a big step. I know. But it feels right. We're already a family. Why keep living separately? Brianna could have her own room, decorated however she wants. You'd have space and privacy. And we'd all be together. What about people talking? Your business associates, the company employees. Let them talk. I don't care. I love you. I want a life with you. Anyone who has a problem with that isn't important to me. Tasha thought about her cozy apartment, the first place that had been truly hers. But then she thought about the estate, the space, the security. Most importantly, she thought about waking up every day with Devin, building a life together, giving Brianna a real family. I want that too, she said. But can we do it slowly? Move some things in gradually so Brianna can adjust. Whatever pace you need. I'm not going anywhere. They kissed, sealing this new commitment. Tasha felt like her life was a dream, the kind of dream she'd never allowed herself to have when she was surviving Randy's abuse. Over the next few days, they told Brianna about the plan to move to the estate. Her reaction was pure joy. I get my own room? And I can see the horses every day? And you'll both be there? Every single day, Devin promised. We'll be a real family. We're already a real family, Brianna corrected. But it'll be nice to all live together. They spent the rest of Christmas week at the estate, and Brianna began planning her room. Patricia helped her pick paint colors and furniture. Sophie took her shopping for decorations. James set up a space in the study where Tasha could do her college work when classes started. New Year's Eve arrived and Devin planned a small celebration, Just family, quiet and intimate. As midnight approached, they all gathered on the terrace despite the cold, watching the city lights in the distance. To new beginnings, Patricia toasted. To family, Sophie added. To love, Devon said looking at Tasha. To hope, Tasha whispered, thinking of how far they'd come from that terrible night when Brianna had texted a wrong number. As midnight struck and fireworks lit up the distant sky, Devon pulled Tasha close and kissed her softly. Happy New Year, he murmured. To the first of many we'll spend together. I love you, Tasha said. Thank you for showing me what real love looks like. Thank you for letting me in. For trusting me. For building this family with me. They stood wrapped in each other's arms, Brianna between them, and watched the new year begin. A year that would bring college classes and adoption finalization. A year of growth and healing and building something lasting. But more than anything, a year of love. Because that's what they'd found in each other. Not perfect love, but real love. Love that showed up, that did the work, that chose commitment every single day. And it had all started with a desperate text to a wrong number and a man who chose to help. January brought cold winds and fresh starts. Tasha stood in her new bedroom at the estate, unpacking the last boxes from her apartment. The room was spacious and bright, decorated in warm blues and soft creams. Through the window, she could see Brianna in the garden with Devon and Patricia, building a snowman. Moving in had been easier than she expected. Devon had hired movers, but he'd also helped personally, treating her modest furniture with the same care as his expensive pieces. He'd insisted on keeping her favorite items, saying this was her home too, and it should reflect her. This is yours, he'd said when she hesitated about hanging her mother's quilt on the wall. Everything that matters to you matters to me. Now 2 weeks into living at the estate, Tasha was starting to feel like she truly belonged. Morning coffee with Devon while Brianna got ready for school. Evening dinners as a family. Reading together in the library. Simple, ordinary moments that felt precious because she'd never had them before. Her college classes had started, and Tasha was loving every minute. Social work theory, psychology, counseling techniques. Everything she learned felt relevant to her own experiences. She wanted to help other women escape abuse, to offer them the same kind of support Devon had offered her. One evening after Brianna was in bed, Devon found Tasha in the library, surrounded by textbooks and notes. How's the studying going? He asked, setting down a cup of tea beside her. Good. Intense but good. We're learning about trauma responses and it's helping me understand my own reactions better. Devon sat beside her. Like what? Like why I was so reluctant to accept help at first. Why I kept expecting you to demand something in return. My therapist calls it learned helplessness, the belief that things can't get better so why try? But you pushed past that. Because you were patient. You let me set the pace. You never made me feel weak for needing help. Devon took her hand. Tasha, there's something I've been wanting to talk to you about. Something important. Tasha set aside her textbook, giving him her full attention. Okay. I've been thinking about our future. About marriage. About making this permanent in every way possible. Tasha's heart raced. We've only been together 7 months. I know. And I'm not proposing right now. I want to do that properly when the time is right. But I need you to know where my heart is. I want to marry you, Tasha. I want to spend my life with you and Brianna. I want more children if you do. I want to build something lasting. Tears filled Tasha's eyes. I want that too. All of it. But Devon, are you sure? I come with baggage. Trauma. A daughter. I'm still figuring out who I am outside of survival mode. I'm sure. I've never been more sure of anything. And your baggage, as you call it, is part of what makes you who you are. Strong, resilient, compassionate. I love all of you, not just the easy parts. What about your world? The society events, the business functions? I don't know how to navigate that life. Then we'll navigate it together. And honestly, most of that stuff doesn't matter to me. What matters is coming home to you and Brianna. That's my real life. Tasha moved closer, cupping his face with her hands. I was so scared to love you. Scared it was too good to be true. Scared you'd change or leave or turn out to be someone else. I understand that fear. After what Randy put you through, it makes sense. But you haven't changed. You're exactly who you seemed to be from that first night. Kind, patient, genuine. You showed up then and you've kept showing up every day since. I always will. That's what commitment means. They kissed and Tasha felt the last of her walls crumble. She'd been protecting herself, keeping a tiny part of her heart guarded just in case. But she didn't need to anymore. Devon had proven himself 1,000 times over. When you do propose, she said softly, the answer will be yes. Devon's smile could have lit the entire estate. Yeah. Yeah. Because I love you. Because you've shown me what real partnership looks like. Because I want to spend my life with you too. They held each other close, both aware they were making a promise that went beyond words. This was commitment, the real kind that lasted through difficulties and built something strong. The next week, Devon had a business trip to Seattle. He'd be gone for 3 days, and while Tasha knew it was normal and necessary, she found herself anxious about his absence. I'll call every night before Brianna's bedtime, Devon promised. And I'll be back Friday afternoon. I know. I'm being silly. You're not silly. This is the first time we've been apart since you moved in. It's okay to feel uncertain. What if something happens? Devon pulled her into his arms. Nothing's going to happen. Security is excellent here. You have my number, my mother's number, the security team's number. And I'm a phone call away 24/7. After he left, Tasha and Brianna settled into a new routine. Patricia came over for dinner each night, creating a warm feminine energy that Brianna loved. They baked cookies, watched movies, and talked about everything from school to relationships. I'm glad Devon found you, Patricia said one evening while Brianna was getting ready for bed. He needed someone real. Someone who loved him for who he is, not what he has. I do love him. More than I thought possible. I can tell. And he loves you. Have you talked about marriage? We have. He said he wants to propose when the time is right. Patricia smiled. Good. You're good for him, Tasha. You've brought him back to life. When Devon called that night, Brianna answered first, chattering about her day. When Tasha finally got the phone, she felt her anxiety ease just hearing his voice. I miss you, she admitted. I miss you too. 2 more days and I'll be home. Home. I love that you call it that. That's what it is. Home is wherever you and Brianna are. After they hung up, Tasha sat thinking about how much her life had transformed. A year ago, she'd been trapped in an abusive relationship, scared for her and her daughter's safety. Now she was living in a beautiful home, going to college, part of a loving family, planning a future with a man who treated her with respect and tenderness. It felt like a fairy tale, except it was real. Hard-won and precious. Devon returned Friday as promised, and Brianna launched herself at him the moment he walked through the door. Papa D, I missed you so much. I missed you too, kiddo. Devon hugged her tight, then looked over her head at Tasha. And I missed your mama. That night, after Brianna was asleep, Devon and Tasha sat in their bedroom, catching up on the days they'd been apart. The trip was successful, Devon said. We secured a major contract. But the whole time, I was thinking about coming home to you. Is it strange? How quickly we've become essential to each other. No. I think when you find the right person, you just know. Time doesn't matter as much as connection. Tasha curled up against his side. I used to think love was supposed to be dramatic. Highs and lows, passion and pain. But this feels different. Steady. Safe. Safe doesn't mean boring. No. It means I can breathe. It means I don't have to walk on eggshells or worry about your mood. It means I can be myself. That's exactly what love should be. They talked late into the night, sharing dreams and plans. Devon wanted to expand his company's charitable initiatives. Tasha wanted to start a support group for domestic violence survivors once she had her degree. They talked about maybe having a baby someday, about traveling, about growing old together. I want to give you everything, Devon said. Everything you didn't have before. You already have. You gave me safety, hope, and love. That's everything that matters. As Tasha fell asleep that night, wrapped in Devon's arms, she thought about the journey that had brought them here. From that desperate text on a terrible night to this moment of perfect peace. From survival to thriving. From fear to love. She'd learned so many things over these months. That accepting help wasn't weakness. That good men existed. That she deserved kindness and respect. That real love was steady and sure, not dramatic and painful. And most importantly, she'd learned that healing was possible. That you could rebuild after trauma. That scars didn't define you, they just showed you'd survived. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. College assignments, work responsibilities, the normal complications of life. But she'd face them with Devon beside her, with Brianna happy and safe, with a family that loved her unconditionally. And that was more than she'd ever dared to dream. Spring arrived with blooming flowers and longer days. Tasha sat at her desk at Mitchell Technologies, reviewing quarterly reports while also sneaking glances at her psychology textbook. She'd learned to balance work, school, and family life, though some days were easier than others. Tasha, got a minute? Her colleague Marcus Johnson poked his head into her office. She'd gotten an office 6 weeks ago after another promotion to Director of Customer Relations. Of course. What's up? I wanted to thank you for recommending me for the team lead position. I got it. Tasha smiled warmly. You earned it. Your customer service scores have been excellent. Still, you didn't have to speak up for me. It means a lot. After Marcus left, Tasha reflected on how far she'd come professionally. She was leading a department, mentoring employees, making real contributions to the company's success. And she was doing it on her own merit, not because she was dating the CEO. Her phone buzzed with a text from Devin. Lunch together? I miss your face. She replied, You saw me at breakfast 2 hours ago. 2 hours too long. Meet me at the cafe in 20? Tasha laughed and agreed. Their relationship had settled into something comfortable and real. They had date nights, sure, but they also had mundane moments. Grocery shopping together. Arguing playfully about what to watch on TV. Building a life that was normal and beautiful because of its normalcy. At the cafe, Devin was already waiting with her favorite sandwich and coffee. You're predictable, she teased, sitting down. I prefer to think of it as attentive. He stole a kiss before she could protest about public displays of affection at work. How's your day? Good. Busy. I have a test tonight in my counseling class. You'll ace it. You always do. Devin's pride in her academic success was evident. He'd attended her end-of-semester presentation last month, sitting in the back of the classroom and beaming. How's Brianna doing with the writing lessons? Tasha asked. Great. The instructor says she's a natural. She wants to compete in a local show next month. Compete? Already? Just a small beginner's competition. Nothing serious. But she's so excited about it. They talked about ordinary things. Brianna's upcoming school project. Patricia's charity gala next month. The new employee training program Tasha was developing. Simple, everyday conversations that made Tasha's heart full. Can I ask you something? Devin said, his tone shifting to something more serious. Always. Are you happy? Really happy? Tasha thought about the question. Yes. Genuinely, truly happy. Why? I just want to make sure. Sometimes I worry that you're doing all this to please me. The job, the commute, living at the estate. Devin, I chose all of this. The job is mine because I'm good at it. The commute is fine. And the estate. She reached across the table for his hand. The estate is home. Our home. Where I want to be. Good. Because I was thinking we should start planning the adoption hearing. The paperwork is almost complete, and Jennifer says we can schedule it for next month. Really? That's soon. If you're ready. I know it's a big step, legally binding me to Brianna. It's not binding you to her. It's recognizing what's already true. You're her father in every way that matters. Devin's eyes grew emotional. She calls me Papa D now. Not Mr. D. Just Papa D. I know. She made the switch last month. Did you notice? I noticed. It means everything to me. That evening, Tasha attended her counseling class and took her test. Afterwards, her professor, Dr. Williams, asked her to stay behind. Ms. Williams, I wanted to talk to you about something. Tasha felt nervous. Is something wrong with my work? On the contrary. Your work is exceptional. Your essays show deep personal insight combined with solid theoretical understanding. Have you thought about continuing to a bachelor's degree after you finish your associates? I'd love to, but I'm not sure about the timing. I have a daughter and work and... I understand. But I wanted you to know you have real talent for this. You could make a significant impact in the field of trauma counseling. Think about it. As Tasha drove home, she thought about Dr. Williams' words. Could she really do more? Go further with her education? She'd been thinking about stopping at an associate's degree, but maybe she could achieve more. At home, she found Devin and Brianna in the kitchen making dinner together. Brianna was carefully chopping vegetables under Devin's supervision, and they were both wearing matching blue aprons. Mama, look. Papa D is teaching me to make stir-fry. I see that. It smells delicious. After dinner and homework and bedtime routines, Tasha told Devin about her professor's suggestion. You should do it, Devin said immediately. Keep going. Get your bachelor's, maybe even a master's eventually. That's years of school. And expensive. We'll make it work. I'll make it work. Tasha, you have a gift for helping people. Don't limit yourself. But what about Brianna? What about family time? We'll figure it out together. That's what partners do. Besides, You pursuing your dreams teaches Brianna that women can have careers and families. That's important. Tasha leaned against him. How did I get so lucky? I'm the lucky one. You and Brianna are the best things that ever happened to me. Over the following weeks, life continued its steady rhythm. Tasha applied for the bachelor's program and was accepted with a partial scholarship. The adoption hearing was scheduled for May. Brianna's writing competition was planned for June. But underneath the ordinary moments, something bigger was building. Tasha could feel it in the way Devin looked at her sometimes, in the small secret smile he'd get when he thought she wasn't watching. Something was coming. One Saturday in April, Devin announced he had a surprise for them. A surprise? Brianna bounced excitedly. What kind? You'll see. Get dressed. Somewhere nice but comfortable. He drove them to a beautiful park near the lake, where a picnic was set up under a large oak tree. But this wasn't just any picnic. There were flowers everywhere, photos of their family hung from the tree branches, and soft music played from hidden speakers. Devin, what is this? Tasha asked, her heart racing. This is me being brave enough to ask you something important. Devin took her hand and led her to the center of the setup. Brianna stood nearby, grinning like she was in on the secret. Tasha, 11 months ago I got a text from a scared little girl asking for help. I had no idea that responding to that text would change my entire life. You've taught me what real love is. Not the fairy tale kind, but the everyday kind. The kind that shows up, that does the work, that chooses commitment even when things are hard. Tears were already streaming down Tasha's face. She knew what was coming. Devin knelt down, pulling a small box from his pocket. I love you. I love Brianna. I love the life we've built together. Will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life showing you what love should look like? Yes, Tasha managed through her tears. Yes, absolutely yes. Devin stood and slipped the ring on her finger, then pulled her into a kiss while Brianna cheered and jumped around them. I have something for you too, kiddo, Devin said, pulling Brianna into their embrace. This ring isn't just for your mama. It's for both of you. When I marry Tasha, I'm marrying into your family. I'm becoming Papa D for real. You okay with that? Yes, Brianna wrapped her arms around both of them. We're going to be a real family. Forever. The rest of the day was celebration. Devin had arranged for Patricia, Sophie, James, and Gloria to join them. They ate, laughed, planned, and dreamed about the future. How long have you been planning this? Tasha asked Devin quietly while the others chatted. 2 months. I wanted it to be perfect, meaningful, a reflection of us. It's beyond perfect. That night, lying in bed, Tasha examined her ring in the dim light. It was beautiful but not ostentatious. Classic and elegant. Just right. I can't believe this is my life now, she whispered. A year ago I was terrified and trapped. Now I'm engaged, going to college, part of an amazing family. It doesn't seem real. It's real, Devin assured her. And it's just the beginning. We have our whole lives ahead of us. What did I do to deserve this? To deserve you? You survived. You fought back. You protected your daughter. You let me help you. You opened your heart despite every reason not to. That's what you did. Tasha turned to face him. I love you. So much it scares me sometimes. Don't be scared. I'm not going anywhere. Ever. They fell asleep holding each other, two people who'd found in each other exactly what they needed. Not a rescuer and victim. Not a rich man and struggling woman. But partners. Equals. Two people building something real and lasting. The next morning, Brianna burst into their room at dawn. Can I tell my friends at school? About the engagement? Please? Tasha laughed. Yes, baby. You can tell everyone. And can I be in the wedding? Like a flower girl or something? Of course. But Brianna, you're more than that. You're the reason all this happened. Without your brave text that night, none of this would exist. Brianna climbed onto the bed between them. So I get to be extra special in the wedding? Devin ruffled her hair. You're always extra special. To both of us. As they lay there, the three of them together, Tasha felt overwhelming gratitude. Not just for what Devin had done, but for all of it. The hard parts that made her strong. The scary parts that taught her courage. The healing that showed her resilience. Everything had led to this moment. This family. This love. And she wouldn't change a single thing. The months flew by in a whirlwind of wedding planning, adoption hearings, and regular life. It was late August now, and the wedding was planned for September. Simple but beautiful, just like they wanted. Tasha stood in the master bedroom of the estate, now officially hers and Devin's together. Brianna's adoption had been finalized in May, A day of tears and joy when the judge officially declared Devin as her father. Randy had signed away his parental rights from prison, wanting nothing to do with them anymore. Good riddance. Mama, can you help me with my dress? Brianna called from her room. Today was the day. Their wedding day. Tasha walked to Brianna's room and found her daughter struggling with the zipper on her green bridesmaid dress. At 9 years old, Brianna was growing so fast, becoming confident and joyful in a way she'd never been before. You look beautiful, baby, Tasha said, helping with the zipper. You too, Mama. Papa D is going to cry when he sees you. You think so? Definitely. He always cries at important stuff. He cried at my adoption hearing, remember? Tasha smiled. Devin wasn't ashamed of his emotions, another thing that made him different from Randy. He cried at beautiful moments, laughed freely, expressed himself openly. Gloria arrived to help Tasha finish getting ready. Her sister had been her rock through everything, supporting her even when she couldn't quite believe Devin's intentions were pure. I was wrong about him, Gloria admitted as she helped Tasha into her wedding dress. It was simple, elegant, a beautiful red dress that made Tasha feel like herself. He really does love you. Not because he saved you, but because of who you are. I know. I'm the luckiest woman alive. You deserve this, Tasha. After everything you survived, you deserve every bit of happiness. The ceremony was held in the estate garden, decorated simply with white chairs and flowers. Only close family and friends attended, maybe 50 people total. Tasha had insisted on small and intimate, and Devin had agreed immediately. As Tasha walked down the aisle with Gloria beside her, she saw Devin waiting at the altar in his blue suit. His eyes filled with tears the moment he saw her, just as Brianna predicted. Patricia sat in the front row, dabbing her eyes. Sophie held James's hand. And Brianna stood beside Devin as his best person, beaming with pride. The ceremony was brief but meaningful. They'd written their own vows, and when it was Devin's turn to speak, his voice was thick with emotion. Tasha, you taught me what real strength looks like. Not the absence of fear, but the courage to keep going despite it. You showed me what real love is, the kind that's built on respect and partnership. I promise to spend every day of my life honoring that. I promise to protect you and Brianna, to support your dreams, to show up even when it's hard. I promise to be the man you deserve. Tasha could barely see through her tears. Devin, you showed me that good men exist. That love doesn't have to hurt. That accepting help isn't weakness. You gave me the space to heal, the freedom to grow, and the safety to be myself. I promise to build a life with you based on trust and respect. I promise to love you not just in the easy moments but in the hard ones too. I promise to be your partner in everything. When the officiant pronounced them married, Devin cupped Tasha's face gently and kissed her with all the tenderness and love he'd shown from day one. I love you, Mrs. Mitchell, he whispered. I love you too, Mr. Mitchell. But the most special moment came next. Devin knelt down in front of Brianna, who was wiping her own tears. Brianna Mitchell, you're my daughter now. Not just on paper but in every way that matters. Will you do me the honor of officially becoming my daughter? I mean more than you already are. Yes, Papa D, forever and always. Devin pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside was a necklace with a star pendant, matching the one he'd given Tasha at Christmas. The star represents hope, Devin said, fastening it around Brianna's neck. You brought hope into my life. Both of you did. The reception was joyful and relaxed. Good food, laughter, dancing. Patricia gave a speech about how proud she was of Devin for finding real love. Gloria spoke about watching her sister transform from survival mode to actually thriving. Sophie read a poem about family being chosen, not just born. But the moment that stuck with Tasha most was when Devin asked Brianna to dance with him for the father-daughter dance. They swayed to a gentle song while Brianna's head rested on his chest, and Tasha watched the two people she loved most in the world share that moment. They're beautiful together, a voice said beside her. Dr. Williams, her professor, had been invited and attended. You've built something special here. I have, haven't I? And you're going to help other women build the same thing. That's why your work in the program has been so powerful. You understand trauma from the inside. Later, as the sun set and the party wound down, Devin and Tasha stole a moment alone in the garden. The same spot where they'd kissed on Thanksgiving, where he'd told her he wanted a future with her, where he'd proposed. How does it feel to be married? Devin asked, pulling her close. It feels right. Complete. Like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I was thinking about that text. The one Brianna sent almost a year ago. The wrong number that changed everything. Except maybe it wasn't wrong. Maybe it was exactly right. Maybe the universe knew we needed each other. Tasha leaned into him. I don't know about the universe, but I know I needed you. Both of us did. I needed you too. I just didn't know it until I met you. They stood there as the stars came out, holding each other, thinking about the journey that brought them here. From terror to safety. From survival to thriving. From strangers to family. Brianna ran over, still wearing her green dress but now with grass stains on the hem from playing with the other kids. Can we cut the cake now? I'm hungry. They laughed and walked back to the reception together, the three of them. A family built not by blood but by choice. By courage. By showing up. By love. The party continued late into the night, but eventually, guests departed and the estate grew quiet. Brianna, exhausted from the excitement, fell asleep on the couch. Devin carried her to her room and tucked her in. Sleep well, kiddo. When you wake up, we'll officially be the Mitchell family. We already are, Brianna mumbled sleepily. We were from the first night. Back in their bedroom, Devin and Tasha finally had a moment to breathe, to let the reality sink in. They were married. They were a family. They had the rest of their lives ahead of them. Tell me something, Tasha said as they got ready for bed. When you got that first text from Brianna, what made you respond? You could have ignored it or just called the police and left it at that. Devin thought about this. Honestly? I saw those words, he's beating my mama, and I remembered being that scared kid watching my mother suffer. I remembered what it felt like to be powerless. And I thought if I can do something, if I can help, I have to. I have to show up. And you did. You've been showing up ever since. That's what love is. Showing up. Day after day. In big moments and small ones. They climbed into bed and Tasha rested her head on Devin's chest, listening to his heartbeat. Steady. Reliable. True. I have something to tell you, she said softly. What's that? I'm pregnant. Devin sat up so fast he nearly knocked her over. What? Really? When did you find out? This morning. I was going to wait until after the wedding, but I can't keep it from you. We're having a baby, Devin. In about 7 months. Devin's face cycled through shock, joy, and wonder. Then he laughed, pure happiness radiating from him. We're having a baby. Tasha, we're having a baby. Are you happy? Happy? I'm beyond happy. Brianna's going to be a big sister. We're expanding our family. Our family that started with a wrong number and a stranger who chose to help. Not a stranger anymore. Your husband. Brianna's father. And soon, father to another child. Devin placed his hand on her still flat stomach. Thank you. For this. For everything. Thank you for showing me what love should be. For teaching Brianna that good men exist. For building this life with us. They held each other, two people who'd found exactly what they needed in each other. Not perfect people but real ones. People who'd been through hard things and chosen to heal. People who'd been given a second chance and made the most of it. In her room, Brianna slept peacefully, dreaming of horses and school and her new family. She didn't have nightmares anymore. She felt safe. Protected. And somewhere in prison, Randy sat in his cell, paying for his crimes, hopefully learning that abuse had consequences. He'd lost his daughter, lost his chance at a family, lost everything that mattered because he chose violence over love. But that wasn't Tasha's problem anymore. She'd moved on. She'd built something beautiful from the ashes of what he'd destroyed. She'd proven that survivors could thrive. That second chances were real. That love, real love, existed. As dawn broke on their first day as a married couple, Tasha woke to find Devin already awake, watching her with that soft expression he got sometimes. Good morning, Mrs. Mitchell. Good morning, Mr. Mitchell. Have you been awake long? Just a few minutes? I was thinking about our story. How we met, how we got here. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. It is. From a desperate text to this. From being strangers to being family. It's been quite a journey. And we're just getting started. We have college graduations and business growth and babies and watching Brianna grow up and grandkids someday and all of it together. That's what matters. Together. They got up and started their first day as a married couple. Simple things. Coffee in the kitchen. Checking on Brianna, who was still sleeping after the late night. Planning their low-key honeymoon, just a weekend away since Tasha had classes and Brianna had school. Patricia stopped by with breakfast pastries, and soon they were all gathered around the kitchen table. Family. Not perfect but real. Not without challenges but full of love. To new beginnings, Patricia toasted with her coffee cup. To family, Brianna added, still in her pajamas. To love, Devin said looking at Tasha. To hope, Tasha finished, thinking of how far they'd all come. To hope and kindness and showing up for each other. That's what got us here. That's what will keep us strong. As they ate breakfast and planned their day, Tasha felt a deep sense of peace. This was it. This was what she'd been fighting for. Safety. Love. Family. Hope. And it had all started with a little girl's desperate text to the wrong number. A text that reached exactly the right person at exactly the right time. A text that changed 3 lives forever. Because sometimes wrong numbers are actually right numbers in disguise. Sometimes strangers become family. Sometimes the darkest nights lead to the brightest days. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, love finds you when you need it most. Not to save you, but to walk beside you while you save yourself. That's what Devon had done. He'd shown up. He'd offered help. He'd provided resources and support and safety. But Tasha had done the real work. She'd left Randy. She'd accepted help. She'd rebuilt her life. She'd opened her heart to love again despite every reason to close it. She was the hero of her own story. Devon was just the man wise enough to recognize her strength and brave enough to love her through the healing. And Brianna? Brianna was the catalyst. The brave little girl who texted for help when it mattered most. Who trusted a stranger. Who opened the door to their new life. Together they'd built something beautiful. A family based on choice, commitment, and love. A family that proved healing was possible. That happy endings were real. That's the end of their story. But really it's just the beginning. Because they had the rest of their lives to love each other. To grow together. To show Brianna and the new baby what real family looked like. To help others the way they'd been helped. And they would do it together. Always together. Because that's what family does. They show up. They do the work. They choose love, day after day after day. And that makes all the difference.